Welcome back to another episode of Knock Stiff Golf. Today is the best day of the week, also known as Par 5 Friday. So let me explain why Friday is one of my favorite days, besides the obvious. We all love getting done with the work week, going out with our friends, doing things on the weekend that are fun. A lot of us spend time with family, a lot of us might be golfing or watching golf if you can't get outside. But it's also a good time to sit and reflect on what you're doing in your life. What did you accomplish this week at work? Where do you want to be? And also, what do you want to work on the side? Personally, this is something I do on the side for fun, and it's a perfect time for me to work on an idea and get a video ready for Tuesday or Monday, whatever I want to release it on. The weekend is a good time for me to reflect and think about what I want to put out in terms of content. This kind of got me thinking about golf content in general. I just have recently started creating it, probably within the last year and a half, and really within the last 2 months putting out YouTube videos. It got me thinking how I was really intimidated to get started. I always wanted to years ago, and I just didn't, because I saw all these talented people out there, and it was intimidating. There's no better word. There's people already doing what I want to do, and they're doing it better. So it's like, why even start? Why should I put out my own stuff when people are already doing it well? Well, you have a different story to tell. I have a different story to tell. There is nobody that I know of that is putting out golf content in Alaska the way I am right now. Will that be a success for me? I don't know, probably not, but I enjoy doing it. And so it's easy when you're looking around online to come across adventures in golf, Golfholics, GM Golf, all these different guys that are putting out really good content and get intimidated or disheartened because they're doing it really well and you don't see how you could do that. But there's other avenues. There's photography. You have people that are putting out some of the best golf photography out there right now. Some of the people that I really enjoy are like Hafe Life. Who else? The Golf Hawk. There's too many to name to really list them all because it only takes you 2 seconds on Instagram to see somebody that's doing it way better than I ever could. But it also inspires me to put out my own stuff and improve on what I'm doing. I've wanted to think back and be like, okay, I just started, but what is holding back everybody else from creating content? Obviously not everybody wants to, but I know there's a ton of people out there that are right on the verge of creating stuff, but they're really, like we talked about earlier, is intimidated or disheartened because there's already such good stuff out there. But you can tell your own story and put your own spin on it. You can do it different, and that's what can set you apart from the rest of the market that's out there. So a good example of that is somebody that just sprang onto the market recently. It was the guy that was imitating famous golfers right now in their swings. He did Dustin Johnson, he did Bubba Watson, and he's not the first to imitate somebody's swing on film, but the way he did it was really well done and people thought it was hilarious, and it just got shared around like crazy on every outlet. And then boom, he has a market that he can start producing content for. Who knows what he's gonna do next in terms of that, or he may fade away. But the point is, it doesn't matter. He started somewhere and he put something out there and it caught fire. There's no reason that can't happen to you. And so I kind of wanted to go over 5 things to help you get started creating golf content. And really, this doesn't apply just to golf stuff. You could use it for creating content in general. So let's get to it. I'm gonna go through the Par 5 Friday for creating golf content. Number 1, the first thing you need to do is figure out what outlet you're gonna be using. And by outlet, I mean, are you gonna be doing video? Are you gonna be doing photography? Are you gonna be doing audio in a podcast form? A blog? Is this gonna be articles that you write? You need to figure out what appeals to you most. What are you good at? Are you good at speaking? If you're not, maybe stay away from the podcast portion. Do you not have any camera gear at all? Then maybe either borrow some from a friend to find out if that's something you might have a knack for, or move on to another version. Maybe you're a great writer. The blog is a perfect format for golf because people love reading about golf. Now, that's not to say that any one of these works better than the other. A lot of people are drawn to video and photography, but it's what you do well or what you're gonna be passionate about, because that's what's gonna carry you through the times when you're not really sure what to do. Is you gotta enjoy the process of making the videos, taking the pictures, recording the podcast, whatever it may be. It's not always fun and games, and it's not always pleasant, so it's gotta be something that you enjoy no matter what. So number 2, you need to find what your inspiration is. What do you keep going back to over and over again and watching, reading, listening to? Why does it draw you in? What appeals to you? And how can you do that yourself with your own spin on it? If it's a podcast, what is Foreplay Podcast doing that draws you in? Is it their banter? Is it the content? Is it having PGA players on there? You need to figure out what keeps you coming back to it, and then figure out how you can do that as well. To start, for a podcast, you're not probably gonna be able to contact Dustin Johnson and say, hey, come on my podcast. So you have to figure out where you're gonna start from, because whoever inspires you has been working at this probably for years to get where they are. So you have to realize that you're not gonna be starting in the same place. And so you have to be realistic about where that's gonna begin at. So number 3, you're gonna need some gear. If you're looking at doing photos or video, you're probably gonna need a camera of some sort. Your cell phone, being a smartphone, will get you through getting started, but eventually you're probably gonna need to do some more high quality work, and maybe phones will keep advancing so it meets up, but a camera really does kind of seal the deal. So if you're doing audio though, you can get yourself a mic for a relatively cheap price, or you can use voice memo on your phone, which takes great audio. And I'm not gonna pretend I'm some audio expert, but it's worked well enough for a lot of people that they use it regularly. There's apps. If you're gonna be doing any type of blogging, you're gonna wanna check your grammar, check your spelling. Website I've always used for a lot of my writing is Hemingway app, and I'll put a link in here for that. Or Grammarly is a great little Chrome extension that can make sure that you're not making stupid errors in your grammar that will make you lose credibility. So number 4 is you're gonna need some ideas. There's a reason you wanna put out content, and you have your inspiration, you probably have some gear, and so what's the ideas that you're wanting to put out? Are you wanting to put out pictures of golf courses and have discussions in the comment section about your favorite courses, or are you wanting to put up swings? Are you a teacher that can give great advice on a student's swing? Whatever it may be, maybe you just want to go the humor route and make funny golf videos or trick shots, or tell a beautiful story about a different golf course or famous hole. Whatever it may be, you just need to have some sort of template for what kind of content you want to put out. When I first started this channel, I made a content calendar for about, I think it's 4 months. And so I plan on making 2 videos a week, and I wrote out some ideas for episodes. And have I followed that? Hardly at all. It's when you get started, you start thinking of more ideas, and then you're like, oh, well, that's actually a good idea. I'm gonna skip that idea that I wrote down and do this one instead. And I found myself doing that, but I always have a fallback in case I'm drawing a blank on an episode. I can go back to that content calendar and be like, yep, I'm gonna make a video about this. And then I'm set to go, because no matter how good you are or how much passion you have for this, you will have writer's block at some point and not know what you want to put out. And so you need to kind of have a guideline of what you're going to do to keep you on track. So number 5 is probably the easiest part, but it's actually very difficult for a lot of people, which is something you're probably just going to have to get over, is to execute and connect. And what I mean by that is executing is obviously finding the right outlets for your stuff. Maybe that's Facebook, maybe it's Instagram, or a different social media, YouTube, or maybe it's starting your own website for a blog and driving people to there. You need to figure out what is gonna be the best outlet. And again, that's gonna come from your inspirations and your market research at the end of the day, seeing what other people are doing and what works best for them. Next is gonna be ignoring the numbers. I can't tell you how low my numbers are right now because they're pathetic. And you're gonna look at them and you're gonna be like, this guy has no followers, no subscribers, whatever. I don't care, because I know that I'm putting out the best content I can, and I enjoy it, and I want to keep doing it. And eventually numbers follow if you can stay committed and do it for the long term. Lastly, in this section, you need to get involved in the community. The only reason I have gotten any connections at all is because I went out and reached out to the people. I emailed, I messaged, I called. Nobody's reaching out to me. I'm too small, I'm too new to the industry. So people aren't just saying, hey Kyle, we gotta connect. I'm mainly doing the reaching out, and that's fine with me. I don't expect people to know a little golfer from Alaska and wanna do any collaborations or connections. I'm the one that has to go out and seek that. And that's how it starts for everybody. There's very few people that people are just running to from the get-go and wanting to connect with. So you gotta take the lead and reach out to people that inspire you, people that are like-minded and have similar interests, and talk to them. Get the conversation started, see how you can work together. Well, thank you guys again for tuning in, and as always, like, subscribe, and comment below with if you have an idea for some golf content. I'd love to help you kind of narrow down that idea, what kind of gear you need, who's some inspiration you should look up to, and how to get it going. That's something I've always loved doing, is helping people start their idea. If you're comfortable enough, share your ideas, and I'll do my best to help you get this going. It's Knockstiff Golf, and I'll see you guys next time.